Okay, so let's see here. So for this example, we have a mortgage. A mortgage is a type of loan, right? So suppose we want to take out a $220,000 mortgage, which again is a type of loan. It's a home loan. It turns out the interest on it is 9%, and the loan is for 20 years. We want to figure out our monthly payments. So that's what we want to figure out now. Okay, so P sub 0, that's the initial loan balance, right? That's the mortgage amount. That's how much you owe. So we owe initially $220,000. We're looking for PMT, right? That's what it says. What are your monthly payments? Also, monthly payments tells you the account is compounded monthly. So N, I'll get back to R. N, in other words, is 12. R is 0.09, okay? That's what R is. It's the APR, the interest rate as a decimal. This is going on for 20 years. All right, so here's our formula. Let's plug it all in. As you can see, we're plugging it in. Okay. All right, so we have this, which is nice. And again, we want to figure out what PMT is, right? How do we do that? In the formula, we use order of operations. Basically, you're going to handle the numerator and denominator separately, right? So 0.09 over 12, that's 0.0075. You just direct calculation. The numerator here, okay, right? You do the innermost parentheses first. So you do 1 plus 0.09 over 12 first. And that's 1 plus 0.0075. So that's 1 plus 0.0075, okay? That's what this is equal to. So anyway, when you add that, you get 1.0075 raised to the negative 12 times 20, so you can do that next, which is negative 240, okay? And then, of course, you calculate that with a calculator. Then you do 1 minus, was it 0.166413? And so on. Again, you're working with the innermost parentheses outward, right? Parentheses, then you do the exponent, right? As you can see. Then you do here, subtraction, because that's in parentheses. And now for all this, almost there, you can actually carry out this quotient, which is this, as you can see. Okay? And then what do you do next? Divide, because you want PMT, that's our unknown. When you divide, right, this is what you get, $1,979.40. That's what we get here. Okay, and of course you could solve this using the TVM solver. Before I get to that, are there any questions about this? Okay. So for the TVM solver, which is what we're going to do here, right? Again, we have to get the variable values. So FV, of course, is 0, right? And why is that? So in other words, the loan balance, when all this is over, should be 0. And why is that? Because again, we want to pay off the loan. PMT, right? This is unknown, right? That's what we want, the monthly payments. We have to figure that out. I is our interest rate. But again, you don't convert it to a decimal. You leave it as a percent, so it's 9%. Capital N, right? It's little n times t. Little n is how often compounding is done in a year. Monthly payments, so it's compounded monthly, and it's 12. T is 20 years, 240. PV, right? That's the loan balance at the beginning. That's our loan balance initially, okay? So it's $220,000. And this is, again, both of these are equal to how often the account is compounded. That's actually what C/Y is. P/Y is how often payments are made, or how many payments are made, excuse me, in a year. Both of them are 12. So if we do this in the TVM solver, okay, so for here, right, we're going to put the data in. Let's do that. So capital N, we said, was 12 times 20. 12 times 20. Or, of course, you could just type 240. The interest, we said, is 9%. Okay. PV, the initial loan balance, you know, how much you owe. What's the loan amount initially? $220,000. EMT is what we're looking for. FV, right? That's the loan balance after all this is over, you know, how much you owe. But we want to pay off the loan, so this is going to be 0. Both of these we said are 12. EMT is what we're looking for. There we go. So notice it's negative because we're making payments, okay? But we still get the same answer. $1,979.40. All right, that's cool. That's fun. Okay, that's good. So that's what we get here. All right, any questions on this? All right, let's go back to the notes then. All right, let's see. So we have this one. Okay, so here's another example we're going to do. Right? So this has to do with car loans, okay? So let's say this person, Marie, it turns out she can afford, and also it's something from the textbook, you know, that's what this is telling you. Let's suppose she can afford a $250 per month car payment. Now she's going to buy a car, she can afford to pay $250 per month. Now, she's able to get a loan at 7% interest for 5 years. We want to know how expensive of a car can she afford. Remember, this is really asking the biggest loan she can get. That's really what this is asking. You know, with the loan money, you use that to buy a car. Then we would ask, then the second question is, how much money will she pay the loan company, and how much of that money is interest? So I'm going to show you the formula. Okay. All right, so P sub 0, right? That's the initial loan balance. That's the initial loan amount. You know, in other words, it's how much you owe before you start making payments. You know, the loan amount, in other words, the loan balance. But this is what we're looking for, right? We want to know what's the biggest loan she can get. We are assuming she's making $250 payments per month. So this is 250. In the GeoGebra, no, excuse me, this is the formula, never mind. I was going to say something about the TVM solver, but we'll get to that. R, remember, that's the interest as a decimal. So it's 0.07. In other words, it's not a percent anymore. She's making monthly payments, right? So so N is going to be 12. Okay, it's also the amount, the loan balance, that is, it's compounded 12 times a year, as often as we're making monthly payments, as often as we're making payments, excuse me. And this is for 5 years. Okay, so P0, that's unknown, right? This is our formula, so we're going to plug it in. So P0 is what we're looking for. PMT we have is 250. Right? Originally, I was going to say that this 250 must be negative, but not in the formula, only in the TVM solver. We plug everything else in. R is 0.07, N is 12, T is 5. So this is what we get. So we have to do all this calculation. But again, it's just like before. Order of operations, okay? You do the innermost parentheses first, right? So in this innermost parentheses, we have 1 plus 0.07 over 12. So we do this quotient first, and then we add. Okay, okay, good. We also handle the numerator and denominator separately. So here we have 1.00583333. Okay, we have that. We raise that to the negative 12 times 5, right? Plugged it in, n times t. 12 times 5, which is negative 60. We do that. That gives us this decimal here, using a calculator. And then we have 1 minus this number, right? Again, this is in parentheses, so we want to handle that first. That gives us this number. And then you just multiply and divide. So, once you calculate that, you end up getting this number. So this is the biggest loan she can afford, she can get. So I think the most expensive car she can afford is one that costs $12,625.51. Yeah. Now that's from the formula, so we're going to use the TVM solver now as well. But are there any questions on this?